air. This is a warning. The Grim Reaper of radio, Bob Romanik, with his off-the-record show is about to air. He's probably the nastiest and craziest son of a bitch that you've ever had the misfortune to encounter. The Grim Reaper show will be very controversial and probably quite tasteless. If you are even slightly offended by controversial matter concerning religion, racial matters, politics, or life's problems, you are hereby warned to turn this program off immediately. The Grim Reaper show will be, like his face, very scary and very ugly. At this time, not proudly, but shamefully presents to you Bob Romanik, the craziest son of a bitch on the radio today.
This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, your guardian of the First Amendment. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Good, what the hell is it, Tuesday today? Yeah, okay. I told you, I have some calendars. I can't find nothing. You guys ought to come by the studio. We don't run this like a radio station. And we're flying by the seat of our pants. But the politicians are the one who made us do that. We can't plan for day in and day out because we don't know what the hell's going to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with our economy. We don't know what's going to happen with anything. And I had an asswipe bastard. Why do you have that moment of silence every day? Takes time. I had to cuss him out last night. We have a moment of silence before I speak at any function. I'm having a moment of silence every day for the rest of my life to remember my son, everybody else who died. My family, my friends, the brave military heroes. And I tell all you people, and you hear it every day. You don't like it, turn it off. But when you do, don't come back, because if a no good son of a bitch can't take time out to remember their loved ones, remember the brave military heroes that make our lives so much better, then kiss my ass and go to another station, and please don't find your way back. I don't give a damn. I say that people are going to vote for me. You know, I'm not perfect, and I'm tired of saying I'm not perfect. Everybody knows I'm not perfect. But you got to be decent. You don't have to be perfect to be decent. People want people to be perfect. You're never going to be perfect. These politicians, these asswipe stupid bastards. Now we got Rauner, Governor Rauner. What an ignorant son of a bitch he can be at times. And I'm an ignorant son of a bitch sometime, and I'm sure some of you guys are sometimes. This budget, for a year, he's the leader of the state of Illinois. Now, I'm not trying to pass the bad light just on the Republicans. You guys know me. I'm an equal opportunity exposer of corruption, of crime, of mismanagement. Rauner is saying we want term limits. Well, hell yes, we'd like to have term limits, but see, I'm in a quandary on this one, and follow me. If you vote for term limits, then that means a guy can only run for one term or two term. But when you do that, you give the other voters the opportunity not to vote those people out of office. You know, it's like me, and I'm using this hypothetically. Of course, if I wanted to kill some son of a bitch, I said if, I wouldn't pay somebody to do it. If I hated somebody bad enough to kill them, I'd really have to hate them. Mess with my family and I'll show you. But anyway, I wouldn't want somebody else to kill this rotten bastard. I wouldn't get the same satisfaction of me putting a bullet in his head. Same way with term limits. I'd rather vote, and I'd rather have my vote run an asswipe out of office, both Democrat and Republican asswipes, of course, than have somebody else say, hey, well, it's term limits. he's a no-good bastard, but he can't run again. No, I want to throw his ass personally out of office. So I understand both ways on this term limit situation. But I honestly believe that term limits are dictated by the voters at each and every election. Now, I know these asswipe Democrats, asswipe Republican organizational people, they don't want to hear that crap. But Rauner, why don't you? You're talking about gerrymandering these districts. And I tell you, my district goes from East St. Louis to Centerville to Allerton to Cahokia up to Millstadt, around to Freeburg, Smithton, Shiloh, Lebanon, O'Fallon. You know, there's quite a bit of dichotomy difference there between O'Fallon and East St. Louis. Economic-wise, every-wise. Why did they do that? Because they want to bunch enough votes in so they can make sure their people get elected. And that's a serious problem, needs to be addressed. But how can we address any of these problems? Governor Rauner, Michael Madigan, the leader of both the Democratic and the Republican Party in Springfield. Until we get a budget, you guys are costing us millions of dollars because our credit rating is so low. And when you have a low credit rating, your interest rates go up. We're not paying our vendors, and they're getting 1% a month interest, people. It's costing us, the taxpayers, millions of dollars because those idiots in Springfield, both Democrats and Republicans, they're squabbling, they're fighting. So Rauner wants to bring up, to kind of flip the script, hey, let's talk about term limits. Let's talk about redistricting the gerrymandering problem. That's good, Governor. That's good, Madigan, the Democratic leader of the House. But let's talk about getting this budget in line. Let's talk about not having as much taxes burdened on us hardworking taxpayers. Let's talk about cutting a lot of spending. Let's talk about having the state reps, state senators take a cut in pay like I'm going to take. I'm not going to take any pay. And I'll tell you, not only will I not take any pay, someone asked me yesterday, well, maybe you have to take the money. You can give it to charities. You can give it. No, I'm not taking a penny. There ain't no son of a bitch up there make me take a penny. And if I don't take the money, I don't have to claim the money. I'll keep that money in the coffers. But I will donate what my salary would have been to the charities for my term of office. If my salary's $100,000 a year, charities every year will get $100,000, not of your money, but of my money, because it's my money. You hear me? And that's what I want to do with it. And I want to take my tax dollars and I want to take those and do something for the good people of the state of Illinois. I don't need to have a pension. I don't need to have a per diem. I don't need to have health and dental insurance. What the hell's wrong? What's wrong with us, people? Letting our state representatives and state senators take from us. Not take, steal from us. I'm going to ask every state representative, every state senator to join with me to pass a bill to make it $30,000 flat fee. That's more than enough for a part-time job, isn't it, people? We don't need no benefits. Most of these guys are professional people up there. You got to be a professional person. You can't work at a factory and take off 6-8 weeks at a time and go to Springfield. You're going to lose all kind of money. They'll probably fire you. But these doctors, lawyers, professional people, they can go up there. And if they're professional doctors, lawyers, they've got enough money. They've got their own benefits. They don't need this big salary. And that's just one of many things, people. One of many things that we're paying for that you really don't think about. Think about it while you're sitting there drinking your coffee. Or you guys that maybe just got off work drinking your beer. All the money that's spent, and I'm going to find out, for the state senators, the state legislators, both Democrats and Republicans in this great state of Illinois, and these bastards can't even get a budget together? You need to tell them, hey, son of a bitches, you ain't getting no money till we get a budget, and then however long it takes, we're not gonna hold that money back. That's what they've done before. Well, we're not getting paid right now, but they get a big lump in the end. I'd like to give them a lump in their end. But I'd say for every day, we're knocking off $50 or $100 off your salary for every day Let's penalize people. When you don't pay your bills on time, you get a penalty, don't you? Cost you more money. Let's do that to these asswipe politicians in Springfield, both Democrats and Republicans. There's enough to go around. It's unbelievable. But people, we the people, are the ones that are letting this go. They could not do that without our support, without our approval. And I don't think they've got our support. I don't think they've got our approval. Do you? Hell no, I don't think so. I don't think so at all. Then why? Why we are the bosses of these son of a bitchin' politicians? Why the hell are we letting it happen? We've got to stop this, people. You got to remember, it's we the people in this great country. I want to get back on. Got a lot of calls on this Mark Kern situation, and it's pissed some people off. Here's this no good son of a bitch. There was about 20 young black kids, unfortunate black kids, at Pirtle's Ice Cream at 25th and Ridge on Sunday. And again, I want to commend Mr. Pirtle. Been around a long time. He's a great man, a great community person, helps people out when he can. And he's got good ice cream down there, I guarantee you. But Kern goes down there, and think about this. How symbolic is this? This son of a bitch never comes down to East St. Louis except at election time. He screws the people of East St. Louis. He screws the people of St. Clair County. But he comes down there at election time, is going to dole out some ice cream cones. Kern, I think those proud black people down there would rather have a good education for their children, some nutritious food on the table for their children, a decent place to live for their children, not a damn ice cream cone, you stupid son of a bitch. But that's the way they are, people. They do that in Bell. They're coming out to all these parades, throwing penny candy around. Why don't you throw some decent jobs around, some decent living conditions around, some decent housing situations, some decent opportunities for all of the less fortunate people of St. Clair County to benefit. Why don't you, when there's a job, Kern? And I've talked to Carl Officer, I've talked to Roger Cook. When they get elected, and I think the people will elect them because they're tired after 40 years, every job is going to be advertised. Think about it, people. That's one more thing that you don't think about that I bring up. All these jobs that we pay for as hardworking taxpayers, do we ever get the opportunity for that job? Do we ever get the opportunity for our family member to have one of the jobs that we support every day with these high taxes we pay all over St. Clair County? Hell no. Kern brings in Frank Bergman from Cahokia, screwed up Cahokia. So what's he do? Of course, I think that was Sprague's fault, because Sprague, I believe personally, owed Bergman, because Bergman made Sprague the city attorney, a couple $100,000 a year for 4-6 years, however long Bergman was in office. You understand that, people? That's the corruption. That's how deep and how widespread this corruption is in St. Clair County. You never, Herbie Simmons, that asswiped son of a bitch, hair-dyeing, greasy bastard, fat-ass son of a bitch, Hemorrhoid Herbie, you know him from East Carondelet. He makes $135,000 a year. Has no idea what he's doing up there at 911, the communications. That's a very important position. Did anybody in East St. Louis, Belleville, Centerville, Allerton, Millstadt, any place in St. Clair County get the opportunity to apply for that job? And I guarantee you, there are people out there that are a lot more qualified. Of course, Herbie, back in the day, when I was in my trouble and they were trying to get Costello and Quito, and you remember all the bull crap, he was driving around with Mrs. Michelon. I personally think he was a good source of information for Mrs. Michelon. It hurt the Democrats, so I guess that's how they punish him, by giving him a $135,000 a year job. What ass-white bastards you are. Take care of your business. You know, you notice Kern's got that ass-white business, whatever the hell you call it, Belleville Mechanical Supply, that his daddy bought for him. He don't advertise. He doesn't hire a lot of crap bums like Herbie Simmons. and Frank Bergman, put them in your business, Kern. Hell no, you won't, because you'd be bankrupt in 6 months. I'm tired of you taking our money, the hardworking taxpayers' money, you stupid son of a bitch, you low-life, bottom-feeding bastard. Kern, what the hell do you have to say? What the hell do you have to say? I'm cutting you down every day, you rotten bastard, and you ain't got the guts to give me a call. You ain't got the guts to be transparent to the good people of St. Clair County. You're the leader of St. Clair County, you no-good son of a bitch. What do you have to say? Defend yourself.
Where's the dress? Where's the dress? Tell me where's the dress? Where's the dress?
Now, Mo, let's get on down to the store and get some lipstick and some rouge.
Where's the dress? Hey, Joe, why don't we do this thing up right and get some in my ostrich plume?
You know,
where's the dress?
I was wondering if they made a pink pump in a size 12, Mo.
Where's the dress? You don't think that old boy over in England...
Hey, Kern, is that all you can think about is dresses? You no good son of a bitch. I bet I personally believe that you would support the transgender community. I know the gay, lesbian, right, queer movement is all for you. I talked to a homosexual gentleman, and he said he was for you 100%. He supported you 100%, so I guess you have the gays with you, and that's great. Nothing wrong with being gay if that's what you want to be. But, Kern, have the real people, the vast majority, the majority of the people in St. Clair County, they're not for you. They know what you've done. You spent all that money, Kern, and we talked about it yesterday. Got a lot of calls, a lot of emails on that. I'm challenging you, Kern, and I'm not running against you, but I'm challenging you as an individual, as a human being, as a decent person, and you're a couple of those three. Decent, I don't know. Let's don't put so much of our money, waste our money in advertising. I will give $100,000 of my personal money to the less fortunate people of St. Clair County if you'll do the same. You're wasting all that. Everybody knows who you are, Kern. I give you notoriety every day. You have name recognition every day on this radio station. Do you think of some billboards with your ugly-ass mug? Well, you look like a son of a bitch that... Yeah. Anyway, Kern, $100,000 of my money. You match it. You don't need to waste all those ads. I'll give you free ads on this radio station, Kern, and you can say whatever you want. You can bad rap me. I will give you $100,000 of free ads if you'll give that money and we join together one day. Let our political differences aside. One day, you know what $200,000 would do for the poor people of St. Clair County? We go around and give food out to people. I'll even drive with your stinky ass. I don't want you stepping on my feet with them high heels, though. But let's put our personal differences beside. Everybody knows who you are, Kern. Everybody knows what a bad job you've done the last 12 years. But you're going to put your ugly mug on billboards all throughout the state of Illinois. Let's take those billboards down and put them in some poor people's houses. Let's run the roaches and the rats out. That's about all that picture's good for. You think anybody gives a damn about you, Kern? And you no good son of a bitch. People, think about it. This bastard, I'm going to give him all the free time he wants. I used to offer him $10,000, $20,000. We shouldn't offer them anything. We pay them to be transparent. We pay them to answer our questions. They never answer my questions. They don't have the guts, but they're going to run this county. They're not men enough to run this county. I know women that have more testicles and bigger testicles than these son of a bitches. I'm tired of this crap, people, and I know you are. And then the son of a bitch, it's election time, so they're going to be giving candy. They're going to be giving ice cream out. Do you see where all these guns on the street? All these guns are taken off the street. And they've got Calvin Dye and Mark Kern on the front page with 2 shotguns. Or 2 rifles, long rifles, may not be shotguns. Why do you think they're doing that at this time of the year, people? It's because it's election time. And boy, why are you smiling? Look at Kern in the News Democrat yesterday. He's smiling like he just won the lottery. What an ignorant son of a bitch. This is serious, Kern. And you're sitting there smiling with that smile. I'll wipe that smile off your face with my ass, you no good son of a bitch. But it's election time, and these sleazy, greasy bastard politicians, they come out of the woodwork like roaches and rats at night. and attempt to act like now at election time, they're doing so much to help us, when all they're doing is giving us the old okey-fadoke. You know the old okey-fadoke, a big line of bull crap. These despicable son of a bitches that they are, these corrupt clowns. We, the voters, are not, you hear me, are not that stupid, you son of a bitches. And I want to apologize to the clowns. We've got a caller. Go ahead, caller. You're on the dark side.
Hey, Bob.
Yes.
Why do they always have to make it something for the kids? They turn it into something political.
You know, honey, let me tell you why. Because they're no good son of a bitches. And I hate to say this. I go down the street. I've got food for dogs in the back of my car. I see kids. I just hand them, and I'm not a good guy by any means, but I do it because it makes me feel good. What makes them feel good is somebody stroking their ego. What makes them feel good is somebody giving them the accolades that they don't deserve. But, honey, have you ever seen anything like this crap in St. Clair County? Now, let me ask you this. They bought these guns back, 100 guns. Do you honestly think, and I know you're a decent young lady, do you honestly think that the criminal bums are going to sell their gun for $100 when they can take that gun and go out and rob somebody for $500? It's the good people that are getting the guns off the street. Do you agree with me or not?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And here's what I'd like to ask you, and maybe you don't know. I don't appreciate the sheriff, and I think he's done a decent job, the state's attorney, who I have respect for personally. I don't know about politically. And I want to ask everybody. They've give $10,000 worth of Walmart gift cards. Who give them the authority to take our tax dollars and give somebody gifts for anything? Were you made aware of that, Mary? And did you give permission to take your money and buy guns back?
No. But Saturday there was a Curtis McCall Jr. had a back to school backpack giveaway. Well, who shows up but Kern? And I've never seen Kern down here in the 20-something years I've lived in Cahokia.
Mary, thank you for the call. You just proved my point. But see, that it's not so much that they're giving something to the kids, and I appreciate that because these kids need it. It's the disrespect because they know it's election time. They know now's the time. I say they're like roaches in the night. They come out at night. They come out at election time. Kern's down there giving backpacks. Kern, I go down to the restaurants in Allerton, any place in East St. Louis. I sit down and talk with the people. Carl Officer does the same. Mark Kern comes nowhere below the hill except election time. You never see him breaking bread in East St. Louis and Allerton and Centerville and Washington Park. He's a no-good son of a bitch, and you people have to understand that. But I want to ask Kern. I want to ask the state's attorney, and I want to ask the sheriff. It says jointly, the state's attorney's office and the sheriff's department spent $10,000 on gift cards. Was that in the budget? Who authorized you guys to give our money, the hardworking taxpayers' money, our money to buy some dilapidated guns that probably don't fire at all? Think about it. Do you think the real criminals are going to give up $100 when they want to keep that gun to protect themselves or to kill one of their enemies or to rob somebody or to kill somebody? Do you think they're going to give up a gun for $100? Are you crazy? But that's a political ploy that Kern and Calvin Dye, state trooper, ex-state trooper, then he worked for the state, got a pension, worked for the state doing the same job, a contract labor. Then he was a bailiff. Now he's a assistant state's attorney's investigator. And now they want him to be the coroner. How many jobs can you have, Calvin? How many jobs? Well, you can have as many jobs. You can have as many jobs as you can kiss ass. And that's all of them up there in St. Clair County. But I want to ask before break. All you good union guys, I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Doesn't that piss you off? You know, all you proud union workers who blindly, I say blindly, not disrespectfully, but you guys do. You blindly support the Democratic political organization, these corrupt bastards in St. Clair County. Blindly. You support them totally. And you know how they pay you back? They pay you back by disrespecting all of you hardworking union people. All of you give. They take your tax dollars, hardworking union members, and give it to the people and direct them to spend your hardworking union tax dollars at a totally non-union business, Walmart. Now, I have no problems with where people spend their money, union or not union places. But I would think you, the proud union members all throughout St. Clair County, all throughout this listening audience, all throughout this state of Illinois, that you would have a major problem with having your union money spent at a non-union shop. They're directing people to Walmart. And I know the unions have a problem. Most union guys won't shop at Walmart, and that's their prerogative. But you've got the St. Clair County Democratic Organization that all the unions, the hardworking carpenters, bricklayers, hod carriers, every union, truckers, warehousemen, you guys support blindly the Democratic organization. They don't support you. They throw crap in your face and take your money. Direct people to go to a non-union shop, Walmart. Now think about that. I'd have a problem with that. And also, by the way, there's no union shop at the courthouse. The Democratic politicians, they want to control all the jobs so they can intimidate. They can intimidate the county employees to support them in these elections instead of respecting both the county employees and the unions and making St. Clair County offices a union shop. But see, then they can't control the votes. Like in East St. Louis, they don't want you proud people to ever work down in East St. Louis. They want to be able to dole out that fish so you can eat every day. But by eating, you have to beg them for a fish the next day. I say give everybody, black, white, men, women, Democrats and Republicans, a fishing pole. Let everybody be independent. Then let everybody vote their conscience, not their belly. That's what people are voting in St. Clair County, especially below the hill. They're voting their belly because they're hungry. They need jobs. They need good schools, good homes, food on a table for their children. And the Democratic organization in St. Clair County, they're stopping you good people. By you guys electing these Democrats, you're causing your own demise. Not just the black people, but the white people, above or below the hill. You guys are putting yourself in a position that you don't want to be in because they continue to dole this out. They want to control you. They will not give you a job, just like the courthouse. They don't want those to be union jobs. Then you don't have to kiss their ass. Then you can put a sign in your yard for their opposition. They're not going to have that. They're going to disrespect the unions. They're going to disrespect all of us. Because the bottom line, the ultimate goal is to get them, you hear me, them, those asswipe political parasitical punks, to get them elected, not to service you and the community. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting at its finest. America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are always, always proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and we are, as always, very, very proud to be the Patriot. Let's take care of our housekeeping. I want to get to Mr. Haney, Tom Holbrook, this asswipe son of a bitch. But before we get to housekeeping, I got to say, I've been on the Democrats' ass. I'm going to get on the Republicans' ass. Governor Rauner, again. Congressman Bost. Congressman Bost and his lovely bride, they held a seminar about drunk driving. This lady lost her arm. And the featured speaker, it was sponsored, she was a featured speaker at a fair sponsored by U.S. Representative Mike Bost, Republican of Murfreesboro, and his lovely wife, Tracy. Congressman Bost, I know you're not a hypocrite. I know you believe in right. But I ask you and Governor Rauner, how can you guys be against drunk driving? How can you be against domestic violence? How can you be against people not paying child support and supporting their children and hold seminars and sponsor fairs and then condone the actions of Doug Jamieson, the St. Clair County Republican chairman? He wears your shirt, Congressman Bost. I know you can't stop him from wearing that shirt, but you can condemn him. You and Governor Rauner, you can say you're no part of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition, and we understand that. We actually don't want to be associated with a political organization because we're a patriotic movement. We just happen to be on the Republican ballot because the Republicans wouldn't put anybody on because of the lack of the leadership with the St. Clair County Republican organization. But I got to ask, I've had Mothers Against Drunk Driving call me, Congressman. I've had women that have suffered domestic violence. They're not happy with you. They're not happy with Governor Rauner. And it's not your guys' fault. But it is your fault for not condemning this man, Doug Jamieson. Barb Viviano, I know, is a friend of yours, Congressman, and I know Mary Turman. I think they're asswipes. I think they screwed this Republican Party in St. Clair County. That's why they've never won anything. But you won't hear that from anybody but me. But Congressman, it's not me. It's the Mothers Against Drunk Driving. They want to picket your office. The domestic abuse people want to picket your office. And I don't think you deserve that unless you don't condemn Doug Jamieson, the St. Clair County Republican chairman. Why would you? Why would Governor Rauner? I know you guys don't like me for the way I talk and the way I expose everybody, Democrat and Republican. And to be honest with you, I don't give a damn. But you ought to give a damn about your reputations. Governor Rauner, Mothers Against Drunk Driving. Mike Bost, the Mothers Against Drunk Driving, the Mothers Against Domestic, not just the mothers, everyone in this country decent is against domestic violence. And you're condoning the leadership of the St. Clair County Republican Party? Now, you stupid son of a bitches, you got Republicans coming out against Bost. You know, the Democrats are paying some of these son of a bitches. Why aren't the Republicans smart enough to get some Republicans to be against Hillary Clinton? I'm sure they're out there. But the Republicans eat their own. They're not smart enough to win an election because they're always fighting each other. And that's okay. But Congressman Bost, and you good people out there, think about it. Governor Rauner, and you good people, think about it. You two guys ought to condemn Doug Jamieson, the chairman of the St. Clair County Republican Party, because if you don't, then that must mean you support him. And I know you guys aren't that desperate for a couple votes that he can get you in St. Clair County. I know you're not that desperate to stay away from the situation. I know Congressman Bost people, after we forwarded all these situations with Doug Jamieson about the domestic violence, about the DUIs, about the lack of $100,000 in child support, not the congressman, but one of his aides, they don't want to get involved. Well, what the hell you mean you don't want to get involved? You're the congressman. You're the governor. You guys ought to get involved. You ought to condemn this son of a bitch for what he's done. You ought to distance yourself. Is it worth, and I ask both you gentlemen, is it worth a couple votes? Do you want to keep your integrity? You want to keep your decency? Because if you guys do, you need to denounce him soon. And if you don't, I think there's going to be major problems, Congressman Bost. I think there's going to be major problems. Governor Rauner and Governor, let's get this budget. You're the leader of the state of Illinois. You promised that you're going to lead us in the good times. And I'm not casting a bad light on you because you're a Republican. If you were a Democrat, I'd say the same thing. You're the governor. You've got a lot of power. Use your diplomatic sources. And let's get a budget together. Because if not, We're going to screw everyone in the state of Illinois. And I say we, because we are the ones that are screwing ourselves, because we let you son of a bitches, both Democrats and Republicans, get away with this crap. We're going to take back our state. The hell with you politicians, the people. It's about the people, not the politicians. Boy Scout Troop 661 holding their barbecue this Saturday, August the 13th at Oberweis Ice Cream and Dairy Store, located at 4590 Telegraph Road in South County. If you guys can make it by, please do. Bob Mentz, the troop leader for Boy Scout Troop 661, thank you very much. Back the Blue, back our police officers, a barbecue luncheon to be held this Saturday, and the radio station is going to try to make it out there on August the 13th. Lunch will be served from 11 a.m. till whenever at the Smithton Firehouse. Barbecue lunch will be served to all police officers and their families. Public's welcome. Come out and show your appreciation and support for all of our law enforcement officers. And we do here every day honor and respect and salute our first responders all throughout this great country. Again, Law Enforcement Prayer and Appreciation Day. Come join the Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church in East St. Louis in honoring our local law enforcement officers and their families. To be held Sunday, August the 14th at 10:30 a.m. at the Mount Olive Missionary Baptist Church at 1430 Summit Avenue in East St. Louis. I want to thank the Reverend Carnell Brown Sr., the pastor, and Deacon Dwayne Hines for that information. Sips and Taste at 618. This Friday and Saturday at the beautiful community park in Shiloh. They're going to have a sample fare from all local restaurants. There's going to be live music, ice-cold refreshments. Raised on Radio and Neon Cadillac will be playing. And it's a great time. They have it every year. And I want to salute Mayor Vanier and what he does for the good people of Shiloh. Great area, great people. Thank you guys very much. Chillin' and Grillin' for the fair. August the 20th and 21st at Marine Park in Marine, Illinois. All proceeds will go to the Madison County Fair Association to keep the county fair going. There's going to be a $4,000 prize giveaway, and it's sponsored by St. Louis Barbecue Society. And I want to thank Pam Vogel for that information. If you have any questions or concerns, like to get involved, you can call Pam at 618-781-5337. And our good friend Jerry Rosh from the Muscuda area, they're having an appreciation hog roast, the customer appreciation hog roast. That's going to be Saturday, September the 10th, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. Thank you, Jerry, for that information as always. You can pick me up on iTunes. Type in Bob Romanik and or the Grim Reaper of Radio. Go to our streaming site, insanebroadcasting.com. One word, common spelling for the best of all three of our stations. Listen to my repeat performance every day, Monday through Friday at 4 o'clock p.m. And now broadcasting from the graveyard to the graveyard shift every night at the stroke of midnight. Like us on Facebook at KQQZ 1190 AM or KZQZ 1430 AM. You can go to my personal Facebook page, Fans of the Grim Reaper, where you can get all the X-rated cartoons about Kern Sprague, Patty Sprague, everybody. It is funny as hell. Please go to Fans of the Grim Reaper. Also, check out my page, Bob Romanik for State Representative. And as always, the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition on Facebook, where you'll get the best, the most informative information about politics in St. Clair County that you'd ever wish to have. On this date, August the 9th, 1607, the first Thanksgiving service was held by Maine colonists. On this date, August the 9th, 1790, the Columbia returned to Boston Harbor after a 3-year voyage, becoming the first ship to carry the American flag around the world. On this date, August the 9th, 1910, the electric washing machine was patented by Alva J. Fisher of Chicago, Illinois. On this date, August the 9th, 1969, actress Sharon Tate and 4 others were found brutally murdered in Tate's Los Angeles home. Cult leader Charles Manson and a group of his disciples were later convicted of the crime. Manson later claimed that a secret message on the Beatles' White album told him to do it. That's what happened on this date, August the 9th, through all these years in our world's history. I want to say hello to Arnold Farney. He was a great St. Clair County deputy for many, many years. He lost his dog. Arnie, give us a call. Anything we can do to help. Lost his dog. He says, I love and miss him to death. Well, that's a dog is not a dog. It's a family member. But please, Arnie, give me a call. He says, I'll offer a reward. If we can help you out, Arnie, we sure will. Give us a call. Give us some information, a description, and we'll do everything we can do. I want to say hi to a gentleman that I met at the Mascoutah picnic, Jim and Mary Burns. He's a truck driver. I want to say hello to those good people. And also a relative of mine, Helen Romanik from St. Charles, Missouri, is celebrating her 100th birthday on Saturday. So I'm going to say happy belated birthday to Helen Romanik and all the family out there. Thank you guys very, very much. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back. We're going to talk about St. Clair County, how they will not let us tape a meeting about absentee voting. And we'll be back right after this break. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM. Simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom. Radical Radio, and as always, we are very proud to be the Patriot. This is Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of Radio, and you're listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM, simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM, Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, Radical Radio, and we are very proud to be the Patriot. Everyone knows about the theft of these elections every year. And people, when they steal the election from the candidates, they're stealing your most precious thing you have, your vote. Your vote to elect the people who are going to lead you and your children and grandchildren in future generations. They steal from you. They don't steal just from the candidate. They steal from all of us. And having said that, the election's coming up, as you guys know. I talked with that no good son of a bitch, Tom, Mr. Haney Holbrook. You remember Mr. Haney from Green Acres? I got a deal for you. Well, to start off, him and his wife making over $150,000 a year in state pensions. He's retired from the state. Now he's working for the county, getting another pension. Why don't you waive that pension, Holbrook? You and your wife. His wife didn't have the guts to use his last name when she worked for the state. I think she was embarrassed. But I called Holbrook and talked to him and Brendan Kelly, the state's attorney. You know about all these elections. I asked that we have a meeting about where the absentee ballots go from start to finish, when they're sent out, when they're brought back, who secures them before they're counted, who counts them, where they go afterward, what's the check and balance. And I said, I want to have a meeting. So he said I could have a meeting with me, him, Brendan Kelly, Carl Officer, Roger Cook. I said, no, I want the meeting in the 5th floor in the county board office, county board room, where people can come and you guys can be transparent. Tom, Mr. Haney Holbrook, the St. Clair County clerk, the head of the election department, denied that. He said, I don't want people there. They want to have it in the privacy of the state's attorney's office in their conference room, and you can't get through there, so people couldn't come in if they wanted to. I'm going to picket Friday, people. It's amazing. Now, if there was an award they were getting, they wouldn't mind being videotaped. They want to be on television. But I ask all of you in St. Clair County, why would Tom, Mr. Haney Holbrook, that's rotten, no-count, ass-white bastard, $150,000, people, we're giving him and his wife in state pensions because he was a state representative. Now he's the county clerk. See, we recycle these bastards. But he told me he don't want people. He don't want you people to know what's going on. I want to know about the absentee ballots. I want to know about early voting. This son of a bitch refused to let you people come to the county board room on the 5th floor, refused to let me videotape it so down the road they can't say, no, we didn't say that. Again, they'll be in front of the cameras every day. They'll run to get in front of the cameras, but that's totally disrespectful to everybody in St. Clair County. But we're going to make it happen, people. They're going to be transparent. We're not going to let them steal the election from not just us, the candidates, but from you, the good people of St. Clair County. These son of a bitches, they're telling us they don't want the public there when they explain about absentee ballots, about how secure they are. They don't want you, the public, their bosses, there when they talk about early voting. And we can't videotape it? They videotape county board meetings. They videotape everything else. This is not a court hearing. You ought to want to be transparent, Tom, Mr. Haney Holbrook, the St. Clair County clerk. You're up there kissing Sprague and Kern and everybody's ass. You big roly-poly son of a bitch. It's going to be transparent, Holbrook, because we're going to demand, as the people of St. Clair County, transparency. We're going to demand that you have that meeting in the county board office. We're going to demand that you who work for us, we, your bosses, are going to demand that you let everyone in St. Clair County that wants to know about absentee ballot and early voting, we're going to demand, and we're going to get our way, Holbrook. I guarantee you, one way or the other. You're not going to hide what you do up there at your office. You're not going to hide about the absentee ballots and the early voting. And think about it, people. Why would he not want to be transparent? The only reason is the nefarious activities that are going to go on election night. Mayor Karloff's just come in. Mayor Officer, what the hell do you think about this situation?
Well, you used the word. Well, first, let me say good morning, Bob. How you doing, Bob?
Never mind.
It's not nefarious. It's just plain out stealing. There has not been a plan in any election conducted by this culture of corruption that they have not factored in for them to steal votes.
Enough to win the election.
Enough to win the election. I'm speaking from firsthand experience. In 40 years of politics in East St. Louis and St. Clair County, I've seen how they do it. They've changed a little bit over the years because the law changed and allowed them to have early voting. Early voting is a sure mechanism for politicians in Illinois to start getting as many votes as they need before Election Day comes around. And they have pretty much sat down and counted them. I could tell you some stories. I'm not going to bore you with what I saw in Chicago and Cook County. And it mirrored a lot of stuff that was going on in East St. Louis in the 40s and the 50s and the 60s. They just upped that game in the 70s and the 80s. But I do think that the people of St. Clair County, this is the one positive side. Over a year and a half ago, we started the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Over a year and a half ago, it was just an idea. Now it has grown into a movement, a patriotic movement, where I don't believe the culture of corruption. I don't believe the Democratic leadership, the Republican leadership. I don't believe any of these people combined or otherwise can stop the will of the people of St. Clair County. They feel right now that they've got some fighters. They feel they're empowered. They feel free. And I'm here to announce that in September, I mentioned it to you the other day, we're going to have a September surprise for all of the politicians. And Roger and I are going to be able to make that announcement along with you and some other members of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. But we need you. You need you to start talking about it every day. We need you to get ready. The only way they can't steal this election is that enough people in St. Clair County vote in overwhelming numbers that these knuckleheads can't even fathom how many votes they need to steal. They won't have enough time to sit in the back room and steal enough votes. I've seen them vote in East St. Louis. I got 28,000 people buried in my cemetery in Millstadt. I would be venturing to say, Bob, at least 20,000 of those people, they've already got registered to vote in this election.
Mayor, I want to ask you real quick. We only got a couple more minutes. Why the hell you think that Holbrook would not want the people to understand? Why would he not want to be transparent? The only reason is that they're ready to steal the vote. They don't want us to know the procedure because they're so afraid this election that the people are going to come out, Democrats, Republican, men, women, black and white. They're going to come out and destroy this culture of Democratic corruption in St. Clair County.
I think if Tom was wise, Tom would find he and the state's attorney both would find a third party that would be non-committed in this situation and allow maybe the media
Everybody.
Let anybody who wants to know the process, what happens with an absentee ballot from the moment it's requested to the moment it comes back in and how it gets counted. And I think that, I urge the state's attorney to at least investigate that and do that. It would mean a lot toward your own credibility to let the people who pay your salaries, who are the ones who are in charge of the election, let them know how you plan on counting their vote.
Yeah. You got one more thing we want to talk about Ed Cockrell's fundraiser tomorrow night, right, Mayor?
Good friend of mine, Ed Cockrell, probably the best friend of taxpayers when it comes to understanding your tax bill, when it comes to understanding how to protest your taxes or to translate it for you so you know what you're dealing with. Ed Cockrell is going to be having a fundraiser tomorrow night at Cutter's Lounge here in Belleville, and Ed did not ask me to do this. I'm doing this on my own. I'm urging you. Ed's phone number is 618-406-5767. He loves giving out his cell phone number. Give him a call. If you can't come to the fundraiser, give Ed a call, drop him a couple of bucks in an envelope, $5, $10, $50, whatever you can. But Ed needs your help, and I'm going to be there tomorrow night at Ed's fundraiser. I'm looking forward to going there. I think it's 6:30 to 8, something like that, at Cutter's Lounge here in Belleville. And please support Ed Cockrell, as well as all the other members of the St. Clair County Freedom Coalition. Thanks, Bob.
Mayor Carl Officer, our candidate, the people's candidate for St. Clair County Coroner, the best qualified candidate that St. Clair County has ever seen. And I know the people of St. Clair County understand that. And I know, Carl, that you'll get elected. Ed Cockrell's running for Board of Review. I know he'll get elected. You guys are two candidates, the very good candidates. I, on the other hand, not a real good candidate, but I'm running for state representative. And I'll take some pity votes. I don't care. I just like to get a few votes. So, people, have a good day. Tom, Mr. Haney Holbrook, Bob Romanik, the Grim Reaper of radio is coming for you. Politically, of course. This is Bob Romanik. The Grim Reaper of radio. And you've been listening to the all-new KQQZ 1190 AM. Simulcasting on KZQZ 1430 AM. Insane Broadcasting, America's bi-state voice of freedom, radical radio, and we are, as always, very proud to be the Patriot. Come on back tomorrow. We're going to be all over these no-count, low-life, good-for-nothing, bottom-feeding, political, parasitical, perverted punks that we call politicians. And I'm on your big fat-ass, Mr. Haney, Tom Holbrook. We are, one way or the other, we are going to demand and make you be transparent to us, your bosses of St. Clair County. You will not, and we will not let you disrespect the good people of St. Clair County. You're going to be transparent whether you like it or not, you little bitch boy bastard. We're coming to get you, not me. We, the people of St. Clair County, coming to get you politically, of course. So let's continue, people. Black, white, men, women, Democrats and Republicans. Don't let either the Democratic or the Republican organization, the few and far between, don't let them divide and conquer us. Let's work together. Vote the person, not the party. Let's vote the people who are qualified to lead us in future generations. Let's continue to unite, to expose, and at the end of the day, which will be November the 8th, let's run these son of a bitches out of office. Let's push them over the political cliff. Let's destroy them once and for all. Politically, of course, right here on the dark side.
They're coming to take me away, ha-ha. They're coming to take me away, ho-ho, hee-hee, ha-ha. To the funny farm where life is beautiful all the time. And I'll be happy to see those nice young men in their clean white coats. And they're coming to take me